Hey, and welcome to another episode of TyTy Takeaways. We're glad that you are here with us. If you don't know who we are, I am John Ramsey.
Joel Griffin,
a.k.a. Brother Boom, for those who don't know. But no, we're excited to be with you tonight. We got a few announcements to start off. First off, our Annie Armstrong Easter offering is coming up. Our church goal is $7,500, and we would love your help to reach that by Easter. This is a great way that we can support missionaries around the world with the Georgia map, the mission board. So we would love for you to give and to be a part of that and help us reach our church goal.
Yes. What about the Easter egg hunt? Saturday, April 12th, 12:30. Hey, man, you've never been here on Easter egg.
No, I haven't been here for Easter egg hunt.
I'm talking. There's so many eggs. It's incredible.
Yeah.
There's probably 2,000 eggs. I may be exaggerating a little bit.
Well, I've heard that they're moving it down to the square because it was so big last year they couldn't get it here.
Got too many eggs, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
The kids love it though. Bring your kids. I promise you they'll enjoy it. I promise you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then March 30th is our benevolence offering. So if you're here on March 30th, this is just a great way that we can give back to people in our community that may be in need. So we're doing that on March 30th. And then Joel, tell us about the Senior Adult Revival.
Senior Adult Revival. What's the gentleman?
Randy Mullen.
Mullex from Valdosta, Northside Baptist Church in Valdosta. I talked to Mama this afternoon, and she's super excited about it. So it's March 24th, 25th, and the 26th. Starts at 10 a.m. each morning. So come be a part of it. What if you're not a senior adult? Can you come anyway?
Yeah. If you're not a senior adult, you can totally come. They're also doing lunch afterwards at 11. Yep. So if you're here, though, or if you plan on coming, make sure to let us know. Call the church office. Let us know that you're going to be here.
Yes.
That way we can plan for food
Make sure
and that
you got
kind of
food.
stuff.
That's right. That's going to be a good time. Y'all come be a part of it.
Yeah, and then 5 o'clock. On a date that I do not have written down.
This coming Sunday.
Is it this coming Sunday?
This coming Sunday.
Is the altar workers training for current altar workers. So if you're an altar worker, be here at 5 o'clock on Sunday to be a part of that training.
So, hey, look at here. Saturday, first day of T-ball. If you have never come and witnessed the T-ball games on Saturday, you are missing out. There is I can't tell you how many people have come to those things.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of people. There's people from our church and from other churches that come. There's people here that don't even go to church, and what a great time to just come and minister and to the people that are unchurched people for sure.
Yeah, and I think too the concession stand for that.
Yes.
Which I think they're supposed to serve like hamburgers and hot dogs and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, everything.
They'll have some bakery items there, but any of the proceeds from the concession stand goes to our church building fund.
Yes.
So that is a good way that we as a church as well as our community can pour into our new building that we're planning on building and that kind of stuff. So definitely be there, support the kids, support the parents, and support the new building by being a part of that.
I tell you, and another thing on that, when this thing started about 3 years ago or so, I don't know, and Patty could probably correct me on this, but I think it was like 40-something kids maybe that signed up.
Yeah.
Now it's well over 100 kids.
Wow.
And it's incredible.
I know. I come up to the church in the afternoons, and it seems like there's always people out
there
there practicing and everything.
I know. What a ministry that's growing into.
It's really cool to see.
Yeah.
And then, hey, this Wednesday night, for supper this week, we are having poppy seed chicken, green beans, corn, and a roll, and I think there's going to be some dessert as well. But hey, keep this in mind. Next week, we're not having Wednesday night supper. So do not plan on being here next week. Go to Chick-fil-A, or as Joel says, that might be a Cheerio day for you and your family.
Yeah, that's what they call that. You on your own night.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So, anyway, and then we have the overtime Bible study class. Of course, it's tomorrow at 11 a.m. every Tuesday. So, if you're a part of that overtime class, or you'd like to be a part of it, please come on Tuesdays at 11 a.m.
Yep. And then last but not least, in an hour from right now, if you're watching this right now, there is a women's Bible study that is starting tonight in the youth room at 6:30. So let this be your reminder that if you plan on going to the women's Bible study, you got an hour to be here. So hopefully we'll see you there. I know I've talked to Miss Margaret today, and she's very excited, about this Bible study. I think they're doing Experiencing God, which I've heard is a great study.
Great study.
So if you plan on being there, you got well, as of right now, 55 minutes to be here, so we'll see you then. But so that's the announcements that we have. Joel, happy St. Patrick's Day, man.
Yeah, I know, right? No green.
So there you go. Yeah. I love St. Patrick's Day. This is actually like a fun fact about me.
Well, you told me a story about it a while ago.
Yeah.
I never heard the story.
Yeah.
Share it, please share.
So I was curious. This is a few years ago. I was like, why is St. Patrick's Day such a big deal? The only thing I know about St. Patrick's Day is four-leaf clovers and leprechauns and all of that kind of stuff. So I started to think, well, maybe St. Patrick was from Ireland. So I looked it up.
Yeah.
And St. Patrick was not from Ireland. St. Patrick was actually from England.
Yeah.
When he was a kid, I think actually, to be very specific, I think when he was 8 years old, he was actually captured by Druids from Ireland and was taken as a slave as a kid. He was taken as a slave and was forced to work in Ireland. And then I think when he was 16, God gave him a vision and said, basically, hey, I have a way out for you. Go this way and you just keep walking. And he did, and he walked for days and ended up at the seashore, and there was a boat there, and they were headed back to England. So he told him what happened. He told him that he was originally from England, and so they took him back, and he ended up going back to England, went to school, became a minister, and then the people that he chose to minister to was the very people that enslaved him. He went back to Ireland to minister to the Druids that had enslaved him as a child. And so that's why for me St. Patrick's Day is so cool, because it's a reminder of the compassion that we should have for other people, even people that have wronged us. That's what's so cool about St. Patrick to me.
That almost sounds like an Old Testament story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Cool. But my favorite quote from St. Patrick is this: I know for certain that before I was humbled, I was like a stone lying in deep mire. And he that is mighty came and in his mercy raised me up and indeed lifted me high up and placed me on top of the wall. And from there I ought to shout out in gratitude to the Lord for his great favors in this world and forever, that the mind of man cannot measure. I think that is just a powerful quote.
Yeah,
that's one
good.
that has stuck with me for a really long time. Whenever I think about what Jesus has done, I often think about being a stone lying in deep mire. And he is the one that has picked me up out of that and placed me in a high place of honor. So yeah, little fact about me. I love St. Patrick's Day. It's like one of my favorite holidays because of that reason. I think there's a lot to learn besides just leprechauns and four-leaf clovers.
Well,
so
you didn't tell us you was a historian.
Man, I'm some of everything.
The man can play music, he can sing, he can preach. Great historian. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I never knew that about St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. And that's
I didn't even know it was St. Patrick's Day. So Heather called me earlier and said, "Hey, baby, happy St. Patrick's Day." Yeah, I meant to call you, right? So, good stuff.
Well, cool. Well, hey, let's dig into some of the sermon from yesterday. I thought that John did a great job. It was 3:16 day yesterday, so we did John 3:16 day, and I think it was cool. There was a pretty good bit of people here.
And Satan tried to stop it.
Man, he did.
Man, he brought this storm. Everybody was talking about this storm coming in, and early hours of the morning, God just took his hand and moved that storm right out of the way.
Absolutely.
And by the time church started, it was just full sunshine.
Yeah, I know. Blue skies.
Blue skies. It done got like 75 degrees. I mean, it was perfect.
I know, it was crazy. But I thought yesterday was such a good day.
Man,
we had
it was.
3 people that got saved yesterday.
Yes.
One person rededicated their life, and one person decided that they wanted to be a part of what's going on here at TyTy First Baptist Church. So.
And we had 3 baptisms. I mean, my goodness.
I know. It was a crazy day.
Great day.
And I thought John did a really good job with the John 3:16 verse, especially backing it up to the beginning and talking about Nicodemus. But Joel, how long have you been here at TyTy First Baptist Church?
Yeah, so Heather and I started coming, I don't know, she was pregnant with Lauren, and Lauren will be 18 on the 22nd of this month, just a few days away.
Yeah.
So, probably about 18 and a half years.
Okay,
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
So can you describe to me what this season is like? Since you've been here for 18, 19 years, something like that, you've seen the ebbs and flows of church and all of that kind of stuff, but what God is specifically doing right now at TyTy First Baptist Church, can you describe that to me?
Humbling.
Mm.
I think if you could bring it in one word, I'd say humbling. Our church is no different from every other church. I mean, every church goes through its valleys and its highs and valleys and highs but I'll be honest with you, I've never seen anything like what's going on right now. Yeah. It's just a feeling, an all-out movement of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I just, the love, the excitement, the willingness that people have to serve others is truly incredible.
Yeah.
I've seen God move our church in such a way that it's real. I really believe it's genuine, and when people come and they actually say that they've never experienced such a loving church, it means a lot, because you see the people, man, before the worship service even begins, just the chatter, the talk, and the loving, and it's incredible. And it's a humbling thing. To be honest with you, I don't know how many. John and I was talking first year, and I told him, I said, man, I'd like to see it, and I think we have far exceeded. I mean, we're on projection to far exceed that by the end of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a humbling thing. I think that people are hungry.
Yeah,
they're hungry. But yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. I mean, even me from, now I'm on the inside, right? I'm in the in crowd of TyTy. But before, when we were talking about coming here and stuff like that, it was just what God was doing, and when we would watch on live stream, and when we would hear about what was going on and how many people had been baptized in a year, man, it was just crazy to hear. I mean, even from, being in several different churches myself, I have never seen anything in any of those churches like what's going on here in this church, and it's just really cool to see.
It's indescribable. Sunday school is picking back. I can remember the day when Sunday school was, we was hitting numbers like 300.
Yeah, wow.
And then it dropped way off.
Yeah.
But now it's on the climb again.
Yeah. But Sunday school is kind of one of them things now that's almost going extinct. Yeah. So many churches nowadays don't even have a Sunday school. Yeah. So it's so cool to see that we do, that we take that serious.
Yeah.
And that's cool. It's cool to hear your insight since you've been here for a minute.
Yeah, it's oh man, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
Yeah. So here's a fun question for you. If you were going to lose anything, what would it be?
Is it? Ask that again now. If I was going to lose anything.
If you were going to lose something, if you were walking around the house, I was like, where is my fill in the blank? What would it be?
My keys.
Your keys.
My keys or my wallet or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 You don't know how many times I'll run out and I'm like, where's my keys? Hey, I lost my keys one time. I had a meeting. I could not find them. And I had already called my boss and look, I know it sounds crazy. Yeah. But I'm going to be, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the meeting. I can't find my keys. And I searched frantically.
Yeah.
And guess where the keys were?
Where?
Right next to the truck on the ground. Where
really?
I must have got out the day before, dropped my keys, and they were laying right there.
Yeah, I guess for me, if I'm going to lose anything, I'm not a big, I don't really lose a lot of stuff, honestly. But, I've done the whole, you'll be talking on your phone and then be like, where's my phone at? But you're, whispering because you're on the phone, but, you can't find your phone because it's, by your face. And so you're like, where is my phone? And it's like, oh, wait, duh, I'm talking on it. But then the other one for me is my wallet. I don't know what it is about, whenever I get out of the car, sometimes my wallet will, slide in the seat or slide down beside the seat or whatever. And so because I don't really lose anything like that a lot, like I freak out. Yeah. I'm like, where's my wallet? Yeah. Like, and so, but now I've gotten to the point where I'm like, the first place I go and look is the car because
listen, you still young.
Yeah.
So I've had these people that's boomer babies. Y'all can relate. That's why they call me boomer, right? I've lost my glasses before.
I thought it was just because you were so epic. It was like, boom, there he is.
Well, that's what I like to think. I've lost my glasses before. And the whole time they've been on my head. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Okay. I think John, the reason that I asked you that question is I think John had a great point yesterday when he said, you don't search for something if you know where it is. And, he was talking about Nicodemus. Yes. And when Nicodemus was searching, he came to Jesus at night and was like, why, if you're not searching for something, then, or if you have what you're looking for, then you wouldn't go searching for it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was, Nicodemus was searching for a lot. Yeah. I mean, he asked a lot of questions. Yeah. And John just nailed it yesterday. If Jesus is in your heart, you're not searching for him. He's that was I like that. That was good. That was real good.
Yeah.
Never heard it put like that before though.
Yeah, I hadn't either. Mm-mm. And that's what was so cool about it is, I think I actually even leaned over to Valerie and was like, "Oh, that was a good point." Yeah, I never thought about it that way. Like if your keys are in your pocket, you're not going to go search for your keys. No. And so to hear there was obviously something that he knew was missing, and so he was looking for it. I thought that was a really cool. Yes. That was a really cool point.
Yes.
How did it make you feel, or how does it make you feel that Jesus did not have to come, but he did anyway?
You kind of hit on that a little bit last night as well in your sermon. But very humbling again. It's hard to wrap your brain around the fact that Jesus really loves us that much.
Yeah.
There's no way there's no way I could give up either one of my girls for this wretched world.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way. And the thing is, he gave everything he could to secure a relationship with us. That he didn't just meet us halfway.
Yeah.
He came all the way.
Yeah.
All the way.
Yeah.
And that was yeah.
So let me ask you an off-script question.
Okay.
What does Jesus' love mean to you?
You must have talked to Ty.
No, I didn't talk to Ty.
Well, no. you finna mess with pulling my little tear stringer over here. Oh man. Everything.
Yeah.
He does, man.
That's a good answer. It really is. It just, it's almost overwhelming.
It's man. I don't know how to describe it. There was so long in my life I took him for granted. There was a time in my life that he was that fire insurance policy for me, and I wasn't really sold out and committed. But obviously that's changed, and if you've never surrendered, when you do surrender, it's at that moment when you totally surrender that you really find that true intimate joy and peace and I don't know the word I would probably say everything. It means everything.
Yeah. Well, even John talked about that peace yesterday. That for him, whenever he was searching and searching and searching, and the moment he gave his life to Jesus, he had peace
immediately
because he had found what he was looking for. And that's cool. I said it last night in my sermon. I love hearing John's testimony every week and just hearing new parts of it.
And over.
I know.
And over. Last night in your sermon, you made a point that, Jesus did enough when he died on the cross.
Yeah.
And he could have stopped there.
Yeah.
But he went and he rose from the grave.
Yeah.
He did that for us.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
He did everything for us. I would have to say he means everything to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask the question, and then I want to know, since you're the youth guy here, I want to know what you think about this from a youth perspective as well. Do you think that this culture, the culture that we're living in, or the culture of knowing about Jesus, because John said yesterday, there are people that know about Jesus. There's a difference in knowing about Jesus and knowing Jesus, right? Do you think that this culture of knowing about Jesus is plaguing our church nowadays?
Absolutely. I as you ask that question, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Absolutely. If it wasn't, then you wouldn't see so many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of churches shut the doors every single year. Yeah. Billy Graham made a statement one time, and I heard it a long time ago. I don't know if I read it or I heard it from watching him or something, but he made a statement that 75% of the people that are sitting in the pews of our churches are going to bust hell wide open. Man, that stuck to me like glue.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow. And there for months I was sitting in church and I'm looking around, and if you got 200 people out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
150 of them was going to hell.
Yeah. That's some quick math, by the way.
That's some, well, that's that boomer coming out. So we good at math. But yeah, absolutely. And I really do think, John he's said it 2 or 3 times. I've watched him say it, and people know it here.
Yeah.
But they don't know it here, and they miss hell by this much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I really do think that's, and I'm not talking about our church. I'm talking about the churches across America and in the world in general. I think, oh my goodness, I think they have a vast knowledge of Jesus, but they don't have him right here.
Yeah, no, I get that. Do you see that as a common theme in youth specifically? Because I guess for me, the reason I ask that question is, I think us adults, we've heard it so much, you know what I'm saying? But we've also gotten to a point where we've led youth in some of the churches that we were in and stuff like that, and would ask them basic questions about oh yeah, we're talking about Moses. Y'all know who Moses is? And they're like, no. Yeah. And it's like, Moses is kind of an important dude in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's just like, that's just kind of where culture and society is almost taking youth. Do you see stuff like that?
You do. I mean, there's some questions you ask sometimes in youth, and you're like, man, they got to know this answer, right? But they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cool thing for us though is in Sunday school we're learning about the content of the Bible. Yeah. And then on Wednesday nights we're learning about the reliability of the Bible. Yeah. So they're getting fed a lot of Bible. Yeah. But yeah, I think I tell you what's different for the youth of nowadays than it was when I was growing up is the youth are so distracted by so many things in our culture. When I was growing up, and I know this is hard for you to believe, we didn't have cell phones. Yeah. Okay.
Whoa! Really?
Yeah. Brace yourself now. It gets better. We didn't have internet. Yeah. We didn't, and I'm going to tell you, there's nothing wrong with technology. Technology is a good thing. Yeah. But it's also
it can be a good thing.
It can be a good thing, but it's bad. I mean, Heather and I and the girls talked about this just yesterday. This very thing. There's such an influence and such a pull from the culture and society and the world on these youth, and they're just torn in so many different directions. Yeah. I believe sometimes our young people are not taught. I mean, the lessons are watered down. They're not taught hard Bible teaching. Yeah. And but yeah, I would say you see that in youth as well. Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, and I think too, just to pivot in kind of a different direction, the phone thing. Mm-hmm. Like, man, you can post anything on social medias nowadays and people believe it. Mm. Like, I can't tell you the number. There's a guy that I watched on YouTube. His YouTube channel is Wise Disciple. I would definitely recommend if you have some time, and he's very, very smart, really cool guy. But he'll do things where he takes some of these people on TikTok and some of their theology, like some of these TikTok preachers, you know what I'm saying, and will like break down the stuff that they believe with actual scripture, and it's like, dude, you have no idea what you're talking about. But people believe it.
But they believe
and they're like, oh yeah, that's gotta be what the Bible says, you know, and it's like, but if you read,
but they don't go and pick the Bible up
exactly
and fact check them. Yeah. So it's I don't know, technology. It could be a good thing, but it can definitely because I really believe that, you know, people, instead of reading God's word, they just Google. You know. What does it say? And they got 100 different forums up there. Just that's giving you false stuff, but you got to be very careful with the stuff. That's why, you know, digging into the Word is the best thing that you can do. An actual, in my opinion, even an actual paper Bible. The more that you can read a paper Bible, the more that you will know whenever you get on one of them websites and they're like saying something and you're like, oh, I don't know about that. Well, and I like a hard copy Bible as well.
Yeah.
You know, because I highlight my Bible a lot, or I'll underline something, and you know, if you want to study your Bible and do it right, you know, jot down things that you might have learned, just little things, and then that you can reflect. We told the youth, look, if you read 2 chapters a day, you could just about read the entire Bible in a year. Just 2 chapters. And some chapters are long, and some you get in Proverbs and Psalms, you know, they're real short, but 2 chapters
except
a day.
for Psalm 119.
Yeah, except for Psalm 119.
That might take you a minute.
That'll take you a minute. But,
So, what did you think yesterday when Brother John said the best witness for the unsaved is to sense in believers the presence of Jesus?
Well, people's hungry for truth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Especially now. I mean, they really are. They want to know truth. I think Brother John was spot on. What's that saying? If you walk like a duck and you quack like a duck, then you must be a duck, right?
Yeah.
If you're a Christian, then you're gonna walk in the light.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna talk about the goodness of God, and you're gonna live unashamed, unapologetic to the gospel, right? But people do. They gravitate to the truth. And when they do, that's when they see Jesus on full display in us.
Yeah.
And you know, you hit a little bit on that last night in your sermon. I did take a few notes. But your first point was hypocrisy.
Yeah.
That's real in our churches nowadays.
Yeah. But we're not talking about our church.
But not our church, not our church, right? But it does. You know, one of the things a few of the things it affects your outward appearance. It destroys your testimony. I know you're astonished that I know.
I'm just blown away.
But it does sow seed in the doubt of the church.
Yeah.
That was a big. I really like that one. But it destroys your inward self. So yeah, I really do think that the best witness to the unsaved is our genuine walk in Christ. And I believe John was spot on with that. And but yeah, hypocrisy it corrupts our mind. It deceives our emotions. So but yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think, you know, living. You've heard the phrase, you know, you got to talk the talk and walk the walk, right?
Yeah.
And I think so many times, kind of when people say that, what they're referring to is, I know you talk a good game, but does your actions line up, right? But you know, the talk part of it is important too.
It is.
And I think sometimes we can tend to like skip that. In that phrase, we can tend to skip that. And we just go to like, oh, well, the actions are important. Well, the talk is, you have to have both equally, right? Because if you have the talk, but you don't have the action, then you're just talking a lot and nothing's being done or seen or whatever. But at the same time, if you have the action, but your talk doesn't line up with the action, then that can also be confusing as well. You know, that was something that I was thinking about today, and so that's why I think it's important for us when we think about, these verses and that having that presence of Jesus that lives within us, that not only does it come out in our action, but in our talk.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So Joel, how do you think, you're wiser than I am?
Oh my goodness.
How do you think that we can solidify that talk and that walk in our lives?
Well, I mean, it's evident when you see that. I'm gonna tell you that there was this black guy. I can't remember his name, and he worked at Tiff Regional Hospital. Back then, it was called Tiff General or something like that. But anyway, he was a custodian, and that was his job.
Yeah.
And man, I can remember getting on the elevator, and I'd run into it. I cannot remember his name. But man, you could tell he had the joy of the joy of the Lord. He loved the Lord, because man, he would mop floors, he'd sweep floors. When you come by, all that come out of his mouth was Jesus. He just wanted to talk to you about Jesus, and he always had a smile on his face. And it didn't matter that he was sweeping floors. Jesus is all that mattered to him.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, when you walk with the Lord, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
And and we all have talked about it. You can't be holy rolling on Sunday and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Did I say holy roller?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't
you
think
didn't say
I
holy
did.
rollers.
I was going to.
Yeah.
That was something that I had planned on saying, was talking about, because I use that term all the time. Oh, they're just a holy roller.
Holy roller, yeah.
But I guess I didn't say it. So I'm glad you brought it up.
Well, but it's true. But it's true.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And you can see a true, genuine Christian when that's all he talks about. And and I'm sad to say that was me for a little while in my life. I was a holy roller.
Yeah.
But proud to say I'm not no more.
Yeah, there you go. You might not be where you're headed, but at least you ain't where you were yesterday.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I was reading over kind of what John talked about yesterday, and listening back to the sermon today, just to kind of get some ideas for tonight and stuff like that. And I read a little further in John chapter 3, and I came to verse 19, and it says, and this is the condemnation, that the light has come into the world, and men loved darkness rather than the light, lest his deeds should be... Wait, I'm sorry. I just skipped. There was a comma, and then there was a comma in the next verse. So, rather than the light, because their deeds were evil. So my question is, why do you think that we as humans love darkness instead of light?
Well,
I mean, because honestly, even Paul, who I think we would all look at as like one of the greatest people in the Bible, right? Mm-hmm. If there's somebody that exemplifies faith and steadfastness, it would be Paul. But Paul says in Romans that, man, there are these things that, I know I shouldn't do them, and I don't want to do them, but I still find myself doing those things.
Yeah, why do I do the things that I don't want to do?
Yeah.
But I do the things that I don't do the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the life of every Christian.
Yeah, for sure.
As long as we live on this earth, we're still in this sinful nature body, we're gonna sin.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we have to practice sin. There's a difference in practicing sin. I think if you expound on, if you go to verse 20, it says, "For everyone practicing evil hates the light and does not commit to the light, lest his deeds should be exposed." I think it's because they feel uncomfortable in their sin. I think people feel comfortable in their sinfulness.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I do, and I think sometimes people don't want to come out of the darkness because that's where they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
It's what they know. It's what they enjoy without realizing they are in prison with evil.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in prison. They're in chains and in bondage, and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
I think
it's comfort.
It's comfort.
Whenever you have shackles on long enough, you start to get used to them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You start getting used to the weight, and you start getting used
to... They're
to
not a crutch anymore.
Yeah, exactly. No. Because you just function with them.
Well, light exposes, and it creates an accountability for one's actions, right?
Yeah.
So, you can tell when a person truly gets saved because they're just full of humility. They're no longer worried about getting exposed. They're no longer worried about being held accountable. They're just so full of joy, so humble that God loved them so much that He would forgive them from all their sins.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and then there's some folks that just, they don't want to come to light. They enjoy wallowing in their sinful lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, Brother John's made a couple points before. You know, before he got saved, he was on the outside looking at the church like, really, y'all call yourself having fun, or
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
That's not fun.
Yeah.
And then he gets saved, and then he's on the outside, and he's looking on the inside. He's looking to the outside. It's like, man, y'all come on in. Y'all don't know what you're missing.
Right.
Y'all just don't know. So yeah, the unsaved, a lot of times they just don't know, and that's my opinion. I feel like they're comfortable in their sinfulness, and some of them may be scared they're gonna get exposed. And
yeah, I think, you know, a lot of people that I went to college with and high school and stuff like that, I don't think that a lot of people think that you can have fun as a Christian.
Yeah.
You know, the only way that you can have fun is by doing stuff you probably shouldn't be involved in anyway. But man, I tell you what, I've been a Christian most of my life. I got saved when I was 6 or 7 years old, and I've had a lot of fun in life.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I really have, and you know, being able to do things and have fun with people, and you know, good ways, and got into rock climbing with some friends in college, and you know, I mean, but you can have so much fun, and it doesn't have to be based on anything else.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I think funness, I guess, is that a word?
Yeah.
I'm going to use it anyway.
It's good. I like it.
Funness can be based on, you know, a certain amount of things that you have to indulge in before you can have fun.
When you got joy in the Lord, that's where the fun really begins.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I enjoy being around my church family.
Yeah.
We had the bond, the youth in the college class. They had a bonfire at the house last Friday night.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I think the adults that showed up, I think they had more fun than the kids did. We just enjoyed our fellowship and our time, just talking.
Did you fire up the grill?
We
I
had
heard
barbecue.
you're the grill master.
Well, we didn't grill that night, but we had barbecue sandwiches, and we ate, we laughed, we talked. Just fellowship is good for the soul.
Yeah.
But I think the devil tells that $1 million lie.
Yeah.
Hey, want to get saved right now? You got your whole life ahead of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's the lie that he sheds. But yeah.
You know, that's the only thing he can do is lie.
That's all he can do.
That's it. He can't do nothing else. That's what. Man, I've learned so much recently. Even is the only thing the devil can do is lie to you, and that's it. You know, the Bible says that he is a lion. You know, a roaring lion. But at the same time, I heard a pastor put it one time that he's a lion that doesn't have teeth, and all he can do is roar, and he can't do anything about it. He can't.
That's good.
He can't bite you.
Yeah, that's good.
All he can do is roar, and it's just. Are you gonna buy into that roar or not?
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, I think yesterday was an awesome day.
I do too.
Man, I really do. I think it was so good. I think, you know, we talked about it last night. You know, we've seen so many incredible things. We've seen so many people get saved just in the past few months. I mean, since the beginning of the year, and it's so cool to see. And I tell you what, for me, man, it just encourages me to keep doing my best. You know, and
you know the church is in a good place when. I mean, we have seen a lot of people get baptized. Yeah. And it's exciting each and every time that we do baptism, right? Yeah. It never gets old. And you talked about that last night. Don't get apathy. Don't let complacency and apathy set in. And I'm super excited. But I tell you this, we have to be prayed up. Yeah. Because Satan is ready to throw some fiery darts and anything he can do to destroy what we got going on, he's going to do it. And love this church, love the people.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, we hope that this has been encouraging to all of you tonight that are watching with us. Thank you for being a part of this church and of this ministry. Honestly, we couldn't do it without you. I mean, we really can't.
Absolutely.
So we want to thank you, and we'll see you guys Wednesday night for service. And then Sunday for church. We can't wait